Hello, I'm Erin. If you're a Bible-believing Christian, this message is for you. First, let me tell you about myself. I'm a veteran with 10 years of prior federal service. After 4 years of active duty in the U.S. Army, I went on to serve another 6 years with the Army, Navy, and Department of the Treasury. On July 1st of this year, I entered the congressional race of 2014. The race is on, and I'm running for U.S. Representative. Recently, a reporter called to ask me why I decided to run for Congress. In a word, I would say my decision was based on disappointment. I am disappointed with the inaction of our current representatives. Did you know this Congress is on track to become the least active Congress in recent history? Take a look at this chart. Do you see the bar on the far right? This represents the number of bills that have been passed by the current members of Congress. Some members say our best course of action is no action. These members say it is best to preserve the status quo, which is what their corporate sponsors want. Where do I stand? You might think of me as a Lincoln Republican. Like me, Lincoln believed in a government that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. All of the people, not just the privileged few. It was Lincoln who said, you can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time. But you can never fool all of the people all of the time. If you're still wondering who I am and what I stand for, let's just say I'm one of those who has not been fooled. President Kennedy once said, "There exists in this country a plot to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot." Today, the plot he referred to is all too obvious. At some point in time, every man, woman, and child will be slaves at the pump. We now know that chronic disease is a result of malnutrition. We know the prevention and cure of cancer, diabetes, osteoporosis, and virtually every chronic illness will depend not on drugs, but on nutritional therapy. Yet, we are still slaves to a healthcare system that is ineffective and unaffordable. According to a recent report, 80% of all Americans have endured financial hardship at one time or other during the course of their lives. Analysts say our real rate of unemployment is now worse than it was during the depths of the Great Depression. Unless our country changes course, we'll be constantly faced with a hopeless scenario. The good news is this is not what Christ wants for us, as individuals or as a nation. Christ has said, "I am come that they might have life, and have it more abundantly." Again he says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." The problems we face will be solved as we follow the golden rule, the rule taught by Christ himself, which is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When FDR signed the Social Security Act, he did so not because he himself was in need of Social Security, but out of concern for his countrymen. If elected, this is the way I'll approach my job as a U.S. representative. I'll fight for legislation designed to protect the Social Security Fund. I'll fight for legislation designed to create a nationwide health care system that is optional, income-based, and includes dental coverage. I'll fight for legislation that will pave the way for private investment in manufacturing, new construction, renewable energy, and other job-producing industries. I'll fight for legislation designed to preserve your freedom of choice and defend your constitutional rights. You may be asking what my campaign has to do with you. Well, a member of Congress does not just represent a state or a district within a state. He frames laws that affect the lives of all Americans. Whoever you are, wherever you live, you can support my campaign. You can make a contribution or sign a ballot petition. Why should you give me your support? Consider these words from the Lord's Prayer. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Who will do his will on earth if not the members of his church? Are you still wondering if you should concern yourself with politics? Christ has said, "Give unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's." The Caesar here in America is none other than we the people. We're a Christian nation, and for the sake of our democracy, each of us must support those who share our Christian beliefs. The problems we face will not be solved until we abandon our faith in the power of wealth and return to the faith of our founding fathers. In God we trust must be reaffirmed as America's national motto. George Washington once said, "It is impossible to rightly govern a nation without God and without the Bible." To find out what you can do to support my campaign, please write to Erin.kent.magee@gmail.com. Subject, I want to help. In the body of your message, please include your full name and zip code. God bless you, and God bless America.